afternoon, everyone, and welcome. This is John from Seller Labs. Looks like we have about 35 attendees out there. I'm just going to run through a quick check to make sure that you can see the screen, and we'll get started. All right. You should be able to see the screen now, and I'm going to, hello from Kansas. Hey there. We're actually calling in from Georgia today from the Seller Labs team. So if anyone's curious, we're right outside of Atlanta. And if you want to pop it in the chat, if you can see the screen okay, that'd be super helpful. Wonderful. Hey there, guys. Awesome. So I just had our website pulled up. If you have just general questions about what is Ignite, different types of offerings that we do have it split into two different, say, flavors. We've got two different versions of the new Ignite. We've got Ignite Standard and we've got Ignite Plus. And I'll show you a little bit about the differences between the two today as I walk through the basics of the platform and just trying to give you a good sense of what 2.0 is and what's changed really at a fundamental level. We don't have a lot of huge changes, but there's one concept that I'm going to cover just to make sure that everyone's clear, because it is a big shift from where we were, especially if you're working in 1.0 or Ignite 1.0, the original version. You'll see this change here moving into 2.0. So as far as logging in and getting into the app, you'll just log into your account with Seller Labs, so accounts.sellerlabs.com. You'll come online to your dashboard, and then you'll see a listing of the apps that you can log into. So right now for the demo, I'm logged into a pro account, so I have all the apps, but you may just see Ignite if that's all you have. And you should see 2.0 if you're a brand new customer. That'll be the only button that you see. If you're a longer standing customer that has been with us prior to about a week ago, you'll probably see two buttons to go back and forth between either 1.0 or 2. So I'm going to be showcasing 2.0 today, and we'll go ahead and get started. So clicking on that button, it'll take you through a login process, and eventually you will land on your dashboard. So coming into the app, this is going to be your main screen, and then from here you can pretty much traverse into any of the other areas that you may need to go. But before you do, you can take a really good look at your holistic kind of marketplace metrics. So we've kind of pulled 3P sellers, brands, agencies. We've pulled a lot of different users of the ad platform on Amazon to try to understand what you guys are looking at. Some of these data points may already be familiar with things that you are tracking in 1.0, but we like the card idea, and so we ran with it with this new dashboard concept. And you can see overall campaign performance, an aggregate of your suggestions, your active campaigns, and your keywords, and then a running 30-day total of your sales versus your cost versus your advertising cost of the sale, to kind of keep that in a nice running view for you. If you want to, you can filter on those days and even include a custom range so that you can get a little more granular with your reporting. And then sometimes it's nice to take screenshots. For now, that's kind of what we'll be doing, but in the not too distant future, we'll be working in some reporting aspects as well that will help you to create better reports beyond just the dashboard. But today we're very excited to offer you this dashboard view with some filtering. Now, we are looking at the standard version. So if you're curious about Plus, we do have a deeper dive of a dashboard. So you're going to get some more robust metrics. You have ROAS, for example, which is a dollar amount return, or almost like an ROI assessment against your ad spend. Then you have your the ones you're used to, like ACoS and your spend totals versus your sales, even getting down to impressions, which we can also see on the other screen. But the big kicker here for Ignite Plus users is that you have filtering. So with the filtering, you can go on campaign names, grouping, even marketplaces, and then of course throw in some date ranges there if you want to dial it into a certain spot in time. And all you need to do is pick those out. You can add some multiple conditions if you like, and then click run. And then once you do that, it's going to refresh the page here. You're going to see the data populate dynamically according to your settings. And then you'll have that displayed chart below. So pretty nice addition there for sure for those that need to get really down into what's really making a campaign tick, or making it not really tick as much as you may want. So wanted to cover that quickly, and certainly you can play around with that quite a bit to come up with a lot of different combinations. And we'll talk a little bit about how you can use campaign naming and how you can use groups to make this page and some other pages even more powerful for you as you analyze your ads and you work to create or modify existing campaigns. So first things first, let's show you the menu. So before we jump away from the dashboard and into some of these other pages, we want to look at how we navigate around the site, kind of what some of these things mean that we're seeing in this new version. So like I said, first things first, if you want to get kind of an organized view of the app itself, you can look over in the admin menu, I'll call it. In the top left, if you click anywhere outside the menu, it should close, but this little, we'll call it a hamburger or a pancake stack. We'll click on that, flies out from left to right. And you can choose the individual marketplaces that you may have. So if you have more than one marketplace per AMS account, like in this example, we have a .com, we have an Italian marketplace, we have a French one, and so on and so on. You can add those in as well and start to report on those, create campaigns for those things, etc. Now, when we do that, we are also trying to dynamically generate the data that you see here. So depending on which marketplace that you choose, like I believe the UK one is one that should change over, but ultimately you're going to have conversions on the rates as well. So depending on what currency is there in that marketplace, you should have a dynamic change there on your dashboard as well. But notice that's where that's tucked in. It may be a little hard to find immediately once you first log in. Now, taking a step higher, we're looking at the Plus version. So another difference with Plus is that we can add multiple sub accounts to the same Ignite platform. So with Standard, you're more or less locking in your marketplaces to a single account or to a single platform, and it's a one-to-one account, sub account to AMS account. So in essence, with Standard, it's one platform to one AMS account login, but with Plus, you could have multiple AMS accounts all connected into the same Ignite platform. So when I click the drop down, I can see that I have Lab Coffee, Lab Kitchen Gear, and Coaster Consortium, as well as Seller Labs branded tests. So all of those are independent AMS connections. And with Plus, I can bounce in and out of each one of those and take a look, all from under one roof. So you can see coming into branded test is there to show the standard version. So that's kind of what the dashboard is that's assigned there. But if I were to jump into Lab Coffee or Lab Kitchen, it's going to change the data on the display as well and show me what is being pulled in from that AMS connection. So that covers the two menus. You'll also see a little light bulb here. Those are your suggestions, which are going to mimic this link here. So we'll talk about that here in a moment as we navigate through to some of the different pages, but wanted to point that out. Other than that, you'll be navigating either through clicking on one of these three buttons, either into suggestions, into your campaigns, or into keywords, or you could do the same by navigating down through this. So I'm going to follow suit with the admin list here, and we're going to go over into our campaign listing and take a look at this page. So we'll give it a second to load out. And what we're looking at is a table view. So we're trying to make it as easy as possible to, one, get a good look at your campaigns overall, and two, make quick edits on those so it's not overly burdening to you and your daily operations as you just maybe want to change your target ACoS or change your budget or bid, etc. So you'll find a lot of what we'll call bulk actions moving forward that you can take on this page and then on some of the other pages where you'll find a table trend with how we're organizing the information and then how you can take action on that data. So in the example here, we're looking across this row. We've got a competitors campaign. You can see the type. It's an SPA or a sponsored product ad, a manual one at that. And then you can go across the row there to see all the other column data sets that are being brought in for each campaign, and know that these are sortable columns. So one click sorts it up, the next down, and then the third takes it off. You can actually do multi-sort, and this was something that I noticed a couple of days ago because it's pretty new, and you'll probably see if you're clicking through these that it's a little funky. We are working on the double sort, so the second one you put in. So just a kind of word of warning, if you get a little confused or the page starts to not make a lot of sense, just turn the filtering off with double click, or you'll see that the arrows disappear, and that's how you know you're back to normal. But that should be hopefully ironed out in the next few days, and we'll have a double sort here. We're kind of debating on whether or not we keep it or we take it away. Would love your feedback on that if you feel like that secondary sort is something super useful, or if a single sort is going to get the job done. One thing I haven't mentioned yet is that you can absolutely use the search here. If I could type and spell, actually I just do comp because there we go, E. You can search in on any campaign that you may need to find. So this may be easier said than done. For some of you, you might have a lot of campaigns already created. The names are already there, but I would think through a good naming convention so that you can use that to your advantage to take quick action on different campaigns that you might want to take the same action on. And that's something that I've seen with some of our clients that are already in the software, is that they have great naming conventions so that they can just pull up something really quick and make a bulk edit action in just a snap, and they're moving on their way to the next thing. Same thing goes for groups, which I'll show you that screen here shortly, but you also want to think through a naming convention for your groups, and likely that'll probably be a little easier because you just have certain buckets that you're probably going to itemize things into, like Prime Day, for example, the recent event that just went on yesterday. And so you might have different events throughout the year that you want to put a spotlight on those particular ads, but they may also run elsewhere. So you could group them for reporting purposes and to be able to also manage those same like campaigns together with bulk action. So all that said, let's show you what that looks like. So you could highlight those in whatever order you like. Let's just say I want these two, and then you're going to come over here on this red item which says action on selected, and you'll just for now have these options to do the bulk edit. We're looking to add some more. Like I said, for the other item on the sort, if you have suggestions for things that you would love to see bulk actions taken on, we're all ears. We want to hear your feedback. But you can obviously activate, pause, or archive campaigns in bulk, which is a super helpful thing if you want to turn things on and off, and also editing those ACOS and those budgets. But you can also do the same thing at the table level by clicking on any of those pencil icons that you see. So for right now, daily budget, target ACOS, the same that are in this list, are the ones that we can edit. And you would just simply edit that, click the save icon, looks like a disk, and you're home free, and it's all set. Another thing you could do, which is often done when you create a campaign, is just set the ACOS at the campaign level, so individually. So you do the same thing here, like you saw in the table view for a quick edit while you're looking at the detail of the campaign, or you're going all the way into the wizard and you're setting your target ACOS there. So there's a host of different ways to do it, but we're trying to give you ease of access so that really, no matter where you are, you've got a quick way to get into it to make those changes that you want to make. So we'll exit out of this stepper. And so we're looking at the campaign page. This is obviously a demo set of data, so there's a lot of stuff here already, but maybe you're just getting started. So if that's the case, you may want to create one campaign at a time. You may want to create campaigns in bulk. We give you both of those options here, and these are creating a campaign regularly one by one, you could do that in 1.0 Ignite. But the bulk campaign creation is something new to Ignite 2.0, and something we hope that really helps to save you a lot of time when you're maybe replicating campaigns out year after year, or starting a campaign over fresh, but you want to still utilize some of those keywords that you know are going to work well. So to do that individually, you're just going to go back into that stepper where we just came from, selecting a marketplace, selecting the type of campaign. So for right now, we can only create sponsored product ads. We can manage more or less and report on HSA and product display ads and so forth in Ignite, but we can't write those yet. And as soon as we have the ability with the APIs on the AMS side of things, we will start to do that. But right now it's SPAs and manual auto, pop a name, and then you're going on to the next screen. In an effort to show you that screen, I'll just go ahead and kind of fake my way through this one. And we'll get into step 2. I was wondering if that would happen. So we're not technically connected to AMS, so this may fail out. I would say it's a very straightforward process. The next step should be products and ad groups. So ad groups is a brand new addition for us to be able to manage those things inside of Ignite. So you can not only add products to campaigns, but you can also start to manage the ad groups. And then lastly, your keywords. So based on those products, you're going to be adding keywords to those campaigns, and you can do that straight within Ignite. You can change the match types and so forth. And it might be best just to go ahead into an active campaign. We'll try to walk backwards into the stepper and see if we can get to it that way. Perfect. All right, so this is what you can expect when you're on that second page. The product side, you're looking for any SKUs or product name, and then you should see those populate down below. And once they do, you can start to select the products that you want to include in that ad campaign, and then go ahead and add it. So what you're doing is you're adding it to ad groups. So if you don't have any populating, which you should just go ahead and create a new one. We're getting quite a few errors here because this part of the wizard is highly interactive with the APIs on the AMS side of things. So it's really hard to kind of fake it, if you will, but this should absolutely work for you guys once you're actually connected to your account, whether that be MWS or you have an AMS connection also. So wouldn't imagine the same error for you, but at least you would likely get this far. The next steps are to choose the products and then to assign them to any ad group. And then once you've done that, you should lastly be on the keyword step. And I'm hoping we can see that. And if not, I'm going to also blame that on the APIs because it is a pull in real time to try to essentially pull down the best items for you to use and assign to those products. So keyword wise, that one as well. This is all tying into Amazon's APIs, and in essence, you're writing to their system, and then we're ultimately pulling it back in when we're looking at this list. So unfortunate there for the demo. Would certainly field any questions that you guys have to our success team and the agents working there. You can always open a chat if you get stumped or have questions, or if things just aren't working the way you'd expect them. Certainly open a new conversation, and we'll be happy to start a chat, try to get you some help. Close that up. Awesome. So unfortunate, but we'll keep trucking along. It's all good stuff. So don't want to leave out a shining item. So we'll go back to our campaigns, and we're going to create in bulk and just show the screen really quickly. And a note. So you want to download the template, and the template is fairly basic, but don't edit anything on the header or the top column, because our system is going to need to read those characters verbatim, and it's case specific. And if you try to add anything additional and increase the count of the the columns, it will likely not work well for you in the end. So we want to make sure it works out good. So just take the template down, try to fill it out best you can. If you have questions, you can certainly reach out, let us know. And then once you have it finished, you'll just come back in, upload the file by choosing it from your local machine, and then save. The next thing to know is that those campaigns that come in will be paused, and you'll just be kind of hanging out with campaigns waiting for you to take the next action. So the final tweaks, maybe you want to throw a targeted cost or a different budget on, maybe make some changes to the campaign itself as far as the keywords or the phrasing goes, and then make it active, and then it's well on its way. So very, very nice and useful feature there for those that, like I said, just have to redo campaigns, or maybe they're an agency and you just find yourself loading the same style of campaign, although slightly different, time and time again. So that may be something to make your day a little easier and buy you some more time back. The next step, and I'll just kind of jump from campaigns to keywords. If you are doing bulk upload, we recommend that you come to the keywords page next. This keyword page is pretty massive in terms of the data that's pulling down, so you may want to give it a few seconds to load out. And know that we are working on some performance tweaks to try to make this as quick as possible. But the reason it is a little slower is because it's pulling in real time. So you're getting that freshest, the most fresh list of keywords related to your campaign and the subsequent information related to each of those. So that is why that's so. And if you're putting in those campaigns, you want to upload keywords into them, because you won't have that in the wizard for the campaign creation, and you'll need to upload those in a separate step. So just wanted to call that out in case you walk through the stepper of creating campaign, but then want to do it in bulk and then are curious about where the keywords come in. They'll be coming in here, and you'll just do the same style of exercise where you'll download the template, leave it as is, fill it out as much as you can, and then boost it into the system. If you come across any issues there as well, same thing goes. Just let us know what you see, and we'll do our very best to help you through it. You will find within New Ignite that we're working with a tab system in a lot of different pages, and we're working on consistency. So the table views are something that you're going to see from page to page in a lot of places, and the functionality around it should be very similar. So as we go from keywords to our negative to our search terms, if I had some, you would see those kind of listed in a table as well. Since I don't have any to show, there's a 0 there. Search terms, same thing. So you're going to have a table list. Each one of these tables has filtering and allowing you to dig in a little deeper. So let's just look at some of these data filters. So any of these columns that are to the far, not that far in, to the far right here, and you can scroll over a slight bit, you can essentially dial them in to a range, finding the info that you want. So let's say maybe you have new campaigns that don't have ACOS set. We'll say we want to find a max of 1 and apply. Or sorry, let's say a min of 1. And maybe we don't have any campaigns with 0, but this is something that I see that might be a useful search filter for you, a new user of Ignite to come in and try out. Because if you don't have, actually, I was looking for target ACOS, but at any rate, I think you get the idea. If you wanted to look into a particular campaign that had a metric you're just concerned about, and in my example, we usually have frequent questions that are in that vein of how do I filter for this 0 in my ACOS. You can use a 1 there as a max, and that should help to pull those through. But definitely play around with those and know that the filtering for us is something that we're consistently taking feedback on. It's brand new. So let us know if you find an angle that would just be a little bit better, or maybe a whole lot better. We would love to hear about it, as well as any of the other sections as far as searching. I'll pause on this one because it's quite important, and again, consistency. It's following through to a lot of other pages, the ad groups. So we're going to go and look at how to create an ad group, but just to think about it theoretically, an ad group is just a folder in essence, and you're able to organize your campaigns independently into those folders. So with Ignite 1.0, we had managed campaigns, and we had folders in that, right, where if Ignite is managing the campaign for you. You're getting suggestions, and it's in a bucketized tile, if you will, is pretty much how you would see it in Ignite's dashboard or home screen when you're looking at those auto campaign or the Ignite managed campaigns. Today in 2.0, Ignite managed campaigns are no more. Every campaign under Ignite is getting a suggestion. So in the past, it was only those managed campaigns that we would make suggestions for with our suggestion engine. Now, moving forward, every campaign is going to feed into the suggestion. So one big change there, there is no more managed campaign. Everything gets a suggestion, and every campaign and all its data is assessed to make improvement recommendations. Now, that did leave a gap, and one that we kind of heard from agency and larger customers that have tons and tons of campaigns. They need to kind of bucketize and sort those out so they can report on their performance and how things are doing. So ad groups was the answer there. So you can start, or campaign groups, campaign groups. You can start to organize those out and throw any campaign you want into any group. So awareness campaign, we've decided to put Bamboo, Ninja Star, and a catch-all. Totally up to you. I mean, it really is. One thing we recommend is to have a catch-all campaign group. That way you can analyze every single campaign out there against other campaign groups that you may have just a few campaigns or different allotment sorted out within. And in some of these just title suggestions or recommendations, we have Prime Day, obviously, or you have high growth campaigns, and then those catch-alls, which would just have every single campaign in it. Now, lastly, if we're putting a budget here, then we're able to start to feed this chart below. What we're looking at below is a pacing report. And this is one of our additional reports that we've added into Ignite Plus, which simply just tells you how you're pacing and how you're tracking towards the end of the month as it relates to your budget on those campaigns. So if you just had a single campaign in a campaign group like high growth, then you're able to just see that one campaign's activity, but then you could also parallel it to like how other campaigns are doing or how other groups of campaigns are doing towards their budget goal. So really the importance is, what is the monthly end budget for this allotment of campaigns or this single campaign that we have? And then what Ignite can do is essentially tell you how you're doing on the way to that budget at the end of the month. So if maybe you're not spending enough because you're only pacing at a low percent, and you want to spend more so that you can help to increase your sales. Or maybe you're really pacing too fast and you need to dial it back and reduce spend so that you don't go over budget. Or maybe you are pacing out and you're selling through and you need to make a decision on whether you just increase the budget altogether. So these are questions that I think agencies see quite often, but they're also questions that standard users and just users of the ad platform in general probably are curious about, and Ignite Plus is starting to help shed some light on that and try to provide you an easier way to get at that information to make a faster decision. So campaign groups, very, very straightforward for now. On this page, in Ignite Plus, you're seeing the pacing report. But all in all, know that you can use these groups to search, sort, and filter when you're looking for campaigns. So that's really what caught my eye on the last page we were looking at, and I was holding on actually ad groups, but I meant to show campaign groups and the same drop down. But I think you get the idea in terms of heavy filtering, the ability to drill into things. And once you start to have a lot of campaigns in hand, you really have some powerful tools to help organize, sort, and address all those campaigns at a glance or in detail. Now, I know we're at 29, 30, it just rolled over to the 30-minute mark, and we said we wanted to take some questions. We didn't get to cover everything, and as you can see, there's quite a bit in the Ignite product and in 2.0. We'll look to likely have another session and another webinar, but know that you can reach out to our team and schedule appointments to have a customer success agent essentially walk through the same thing. Or if you have specific questions about anything you've seen, or maybe something that you didn't quite get to see today, you can reach out to us and let us know what you may have questions about. We'll be happy to get in touch and to respond. Let me jump back over to the chat, and I'm just going to scroll up for a second. Apologies if you guys don't have a lot of time and you have to jump out. Caroline has some questions here. Caroline, if you want to come online and possibly maybe read off some questions. It seems like quite a long list, and I would certainly want to address the ones that you may see as high priority, because it looks like I do see some about tickets and success team and things of that nature. So I'd love to address that and provide an answer. It's quite hard to read up on. I would say, since we're already about a minute past, we'll certainly look through the questions and try to post as many responses as we can. But I would certainly, like Caroline's mentioning, I would certainly encourage you to open up a chat and just go ahead and carry these conversations over into our support queue. We'll be happy to respond, and we'll be online throughout the rest of this afternoon until about 5 p.m. Eastern, and then looking to come back in the office early morning. But certainly send the questions on, and more than happy to get to those, and looking forward to the next demo that we can showcase. Thanks so much for attending, and hope you all have a great afternoon. Thanks again.